The head of the Transportation Security Administration testifying before Congress about new security measures at several airports around the country, soon to be all airports around the country. The new procedures involve either a triple thorough, they involve a trip through the full body scanner, which the critics say essentially shows you naked, or one of those new enhanced palm of the hand down pat downs. Critics argue that kind of contact from anybody else would be illegal. With us now, the head of the Transportation Security Administration, John Pistole, live on Capitol Hill. Sir, good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be here.
You talked to the congressman today on the Hill, or testified before them, I suppose, about your feelings on this thing, and you said that the pat-down was uncomfortable even to you, right?
Well, it's uncomfortable from the standpoint of it's something new and different, but it is obviously designed to detect those threats that we see out there.
Well, that's certainly very new and very different. In fact, if that were to happen to anyone in this audience, I'm guessing, without it being a consensual thing, it would probably be the first time that it ever happened to anybody. Is it appropriate, and can't we do better?
Yeah, I think there's a balance there in terms of how we approach the security. So everybody wants to get on a plane that they know that folks have been screened thoroughly and properly, so that everybody around them on that flight is not a threat to aviation. So the question becomes, what's the balance between the privacy and the security and safety? And so that's what we try to do using the latest intelligence, the latest predictive behavior. What can we do to provide that high level of confidence that everybody on that flight has been adequately screened, including you, including me, including passengers on either side of us? So that's what we're dealing with.
Is this threat specific? Did this change happen because of a specific threat, or just because you see a need to check there?
Well, obviously, the 1225 incident last year, the underwear bomber, obviously was part of that, but we've also had a number of covert testing done by General Accounting Office, Inspector Generals, and our own Office of Inspection that have been able to get through security because of inadequate screening, including inadequate pat-down. So that's part of it. We're trying to make sure that we have the latest intelligence, latest information to address these threats. And the bottom line is that we know the threats are real, the stakes are high, we've got to do what we can while balancing the privacy and security issues.
Well, and that's the question, because so many analysts who've come on this program and have been in newspapers and on websites all around the country have said, is this procedure even really effective? I mean, aren't there other measures that you could do? Is it necessary in the United States of America to sacrifice a freedom in the way that if someone else were to do it, other than the federal government, it would be a felony?
Well, so I guess I would go back and just look at what happened on 9/11.
All right, well, if you want to do that, you could also carry, body cavities have been known to carry items illegally. I mean, is the next step body cavities? Or where is the line? Before today, it was, you don't touch my groin, you don't feel the bottom of women's breasts. But those things are now part of the procedure for the 60-some thousand people in the Transportation Security Administration, and a lot of folks are not comfortable with it at all.
No, and I understand the concerns. It's what it comes down to. We've seen for years people doing smuggling of drugs and other contraband in similar areas, but that obviously we did not change our protocols as a result of that. It's a result of terrorists using concealment and design techniques to evade security that we're taking these steps, again, to ensure that you and your loved ones and everybody who is watching now is safe and secure while they travel.
I think everyone understands that that's the goal, but the question is whether it's your belief that this particular practice does ensure such a thing. Tell us the specifics of what it was like when you went through the pat-down.
So I believe this type of pat-down, coupled with the advanced imaging technology, the walk-through metal detector, whatever other technology we have, gives us the best possible opportunity to detect a person such as a Christmas Day bomber, somebody who's doing something similar, other concealment techniques.
Of course, we couldn't have caught him because he didn't start in the United States. It started somewhere else, and we can't control that somewhere else. So many Americans are of the feeling now, we're having to give up the kind of privacy that many in our viewing audience now would never give up to anyone when they are not suspected of doing a single thing wrong.
You know, I understand, and I think what it comes down to is at what point do we have that blend of security and privacy? And look, reasonable people can disagree as to what that proper blend is, But when it comes down to it, for this flight that's been properly screened and another flight that has not been properly screened, I think most Americans are going to choose the flight that's been properly screened.
Well, yes, but we both know, sir, with great respect, it is not that simple. A man with a 14-year-old daughter going through the TSA's new full-body, take a picture of me naked scanner, doesn't want his daughter, for reasons that are up to him. For instance, he doesn't want the radiation there, is concerned about her privacy, whatever. Then if as a result, he doesn't want his daughter to be felt in that way by someone he's never met, knows nothing about. And as a result, he says, well, we're not going to fly. Well, this man who videotaped himself going through there said he wasn't even allowed to leave the airport, and he's being threatened with a $10,000 fine for refusing to go through security and trying to leave the airport. Is that what others of us who don't want to be touched in that way can expect?
No, what it comes down to is how do we best, again, balance the partnership that we look for with the American people, the traveling public, and the privacy and security concerns. If somebody starts through security, decides they don't want to go through, they're allowed to leave the airport. We are not going to
So in the future, people like this man will not be threatened with a $10,000 lawsuit as a matter of course by members of the Transportation Security Administration, as this particular man clearly was. Was that above and beyond, and will that particular security agent be disciplined?
Well, no. The security officer was doing what he is taught to do in terms
okay, well
of
then let's
engaging with the
listen to
passenger.
exactly what happened there. Let's listen.
Sure.
We're going to be doing a groin check. That means I'm going to place my hand on your hip, the other hand on your inner thigh, slowly go up and slide down.
Okay.
I'm going to do that 2 times in the front and 2 times in the back.
All right.
And if you'd like a private screening, we can make that available for you also.
We could do that out here, but if you touch my junk, I'm going to have you arrested.
Of course, that was the wrong soundbite. The soundbite that I was talking about was as he was trying to leave, I know you've seen it, a security officer comes up to him and says, it would be for your betterment, better for your good, because we are going to file a lawsuit against you for $10,000 for leaving this place without getting a security check. Is that lawsuit going to happen? Is that procedure? And if not, will that person be disciplined?
So Congress gave the TSA gave us the authority to fine people who try to smuggle items on, and so there's an administrative fine that is possible. That is discretionary, and I have no intent of assessing a fine on somebody who reasonably does not want to go through security. They don't want to fly. They're free to leave the airport. What we're concerned about is possible terrorists who are probing the system to see how far they can get, and they say, uh-oh, okay, I've gone this far, I'm going to leave the airport now, so we would like to know who that person is. We're not even doing that in this instance.
Okay, all right. Right now, because the underwear bomber tried to bomb a plane, came in from outside this country, so would not have been subjected to this in any way. Right now, the line is at, I can feel your groin and I can feel under your breasts because of this underwear bomber. If the next one tries to put something in a body cavity, will then all Americans be subjected to that? And how can you be sure at this point, because the line has moved to a degree where a lot of people are uncomfortable?
Sure. Obviously, it comes down to being risk-based and intelligence-driven, and how we go about doing that is on an evolving scale, but clearly we are at the point where I think the technology and the protocols that we use will detect all known concealment devices for operational improvised explosive devices. So that's where we are. And look, we're looking for a partnership with the traveling public to say, work with us. We're trying to protect your safety, your security, so let's work at this together.
And there's a segment of the flying population that says, I want to be protected. I appreciate the fact that you're trying to protect me. But when you told us we couldn't bring lighters on anymore and then said we could, we didn't appreciate that. And we don't appreciate it now that you're going to be touching our 14-year-old daughters because we don't want to put them through radiation and a full body scan. There has to be something that can work better than that. Are you looking for a better alternative to the frisking of people who are not suspected of any crime and are innocent Americans trying to fly?
Yeah, there's a number of things that we're doing. On the technology side, we are actively looking at the next generation, if you will, of the advanced imaging technology, which instead of an image, people refer to as a photograph or something like that. That's not the case. It's an image, which obviously is not restored, not retained, not stored, not transmitted. But the next generation presents basically a stick figure that has a indication basically on a box on that stick figure, say this is where you should search. Right. So that area is search. So that's what we're looking to. We want to get to that point. But right now, the technology is not there in a way that gives us the level of confidence we need.
Well, sir, we wish you the best, and we thank you for trying to help us, and we hope you find something better. Great to see you. Thank you.